David Sutter from KOWB standing next to Laramie Lady Plainsman head soccer coach Kim Whisenant. As we're at about the halfway point of the season, I know your match with Natrona keeps getting pushed back for a variety of reasons, but you're getting ready to start the second half of conference play. So you're about a month away from the postseason. You're sitting 3-3-1. How would you characterize where you're at right now?
I mean, we got to do some big things heading into the second half of the season. You know, we talk about grit and fight and what it takes to overcome these, adversities and challenges that happen during the game and how we can work those things out as a team. I can do the adjusting and systems and stuff like that, but when it comes down to it during the game, how can the kids adjust without me having to change it, on the sideline telling them?
You and I talked before the season, and you thought that this would kind of be a learn-on-the-fly situation. Has it been a bigger learning curve than you anticipated?
Yes. Obviously with the kids that we lost last year and new faces, brand new kids, learning the system. It takes a while, and you don't have that much time in the season. And some of the kids are figuring it out, some of them aren't. It's a lot of fitness, a lot of dedication to certain positions on this field and the system that we use. So having to figure out which kids can play within those roles and which kids can't, and how do you sub in this one, and can this kid play there, and if they can't, I just got to find players that are versatile enough to be able to play in more than one position right now.
Injuries have impacted you, including Lexi Pulley here in the last week or so. I know she'll be out for a little bit. How much does that impact you and what you like to do, not just her injury, but other injuries?
Obviously, she's the big piece of our program, really, and she's a piece of our puzzle along with the other girls. And like when she's out, who do you put in that role, and can they play within that role like they're supposed to? And we have to be able to play to each other's tendencies a little bit better and to each other's strengths, and I think we're doing a better job of that now in the second half of the season. We know each other's, if I'm going to step here, but before we kind of just reacted instead of anticipated, and we're doing a better job of that. So with these injuries, we're slowly starting to get better and heal. We're hopefully going to get her in the second half of the season, but I'm just looking for other players to step up. When those players are out, who's going to step up and rise to the occasion and help the group?
So how do you go about approaching the second half of conference play, which begins with a tough road trip to Sheridan and Gillette this weekend?
Find a way, right? I mean, it's buckle down time, and like I said, sink or swim to the kids, and this is it. It's now or never, and obviously you want to be playing the best soccer at the end of the season, but we can't wait. We can't wait any longer. We've got to be able to do it now. We've got to be able to do it as a group and not as individuals, and it's slowly coming along.
Do you have bigger concerns more than others in this second half, to try and get where you want to be by the time postseason rolls around?
No, now that we've seen everybody, I kind of know what everyone will present and how we can match against that with our core group. But again, finding out who we're all about, and I'm looking for some grit from these kids, like I said, and we're, dig deep and, pull up those bootstraps and go to work. Some of the kids have it, some of them don't, some of them want to have it and are trying to find a way, but we've just got to do it. We don't have any more time left. Like I say, there's no time like the present, right? Like you talk about, but it starts in training, it starts out of training, taking care of our bodies. We're going to do whiteboard today and talk about our system and who does what, and in the game, if you can't do it, can you pull a player in to help? And those are the things I'm looking for the kids to do on the field without having to look at me all the time.
Lastly, I know you haven't played everybody across the state, but you've seen a good majority, and especially some of the top teams on this East Conference. How do you characterize 4A girls soccer right now?
It's strong. It's strong all over the map. You can't count on one team to do one or the other like last year. Everyone's getting stronger, and we don't ever take a game for granted. We don't ever look past a game. Obviously, we have 2 big conference games this weekend, but then we'll have another game on Monday that we're going to look at just as serious. And like I said, it takes preparation and training and looking at systems and being able to visually see where they're supposed to be. And hopefully we can do a better job with these conference games heading into the second half, like you said.
The Laramie Lady Plainsmen go to Sheridan Friday and then Gillette against Campbell County Saturday. They're currently 3-3-1 on the season, 2-3-1 in conference, kind of sitting in the middle of conference. We're about a month away from the postseason. My thanks to Coach Kim Whisenant for joining me on this midseason soccer update.